Welcome to keepbusy.com, #1 business lifestyle platform. And today, we are in the business of art with Mason. Bro, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm alive. How are you?
I'm good, man. The arts, it's a very, very interesting industry. And the reason why I was like, we have to interview you today is because you are making it work, man. You're actually a successful artist. And we want to understand, how you do it, basically. But before we get into that, man, just for those that don't know you, man, who are you?
Masonwabe Ntloko. I am a visual artist. I create by hand painting. I also create digitally, which goes into products. So I've made rugs, I've made clothing. So basically what I did is I developed a visual language, and my visual language has words across the board. So that's basically who I am and what I do.
Yeah. And you've been very good at like aligning yourself with corporates, people that can really put your work out there to the world. Recently you partnered with Warner Music South Africa. Tell us about that partnership.
We did the collab because I had worked with Warner before, and they were coming into South Africa looking at building a more localized brand, something that they thought would represent the people, and they felt like I was the best person for that. But because we had already developed or established a working relationship of when I still used to work in the music industry, design-wise, it came out how it was. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure what you want me to talk about within the collab.
No, just to explain what the collab is about, but you did that perfectly. And now today we're in Parkhurst at an art gallery, and your work is all over the walls. So yeah, man, tell us about that. Like, what's happening here tonight?
So this is my first ever gallery solo exhibition, and it's titled ILISO LO Moya, which directly from Xhosa to English means the eye that sees spiritual things. So basically, the idea behind I was just like at a point in my life where it's like you can't really wait for institutions to fund what you're trying to do or to invest in what you're trying to do. At some point, you need to sit down and start looking at how you can invest in what you do and take what you do seriously. And this is one of those like moments where it's like I might not be signed to a gallery, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do the things that I want to do, because this creative thing is really just about doing what you feel you want to do when you want to do it. Obviously, you still need to be mindful of the fact that every move that you do has to be somewhat calculated.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask you about the business of art, because I feel it's just me as an ordinary guy looking at like the industry from outside. I feel like artists, it's either you are big or you're playing small. I feel like there's no industry in between. So the business of art, man, briefly, like, how does one make a living, because there's someone that's going to be watching this one, like, I also want to be like that guy.
I think there's different ways to look at it. For me, I come from a more design background, right? But I'm also very business-minded. So a lot of what I do, my understanding of how art is 80% business and 20% the arts. For an example, this year I've only been to studio once, right? All of what you see here was created last year. So now you can imagine the process of moving from there to here. You see what I mean? So I think understanding that concept of there's more to the art than just the art, because I think the biggest problem that most artists have is that they lock themselves in their homes and they just create. And at some point you need to understand that this thing needs to be sold, this thing needs to be marketed, this thing needs to be branded. When do you get the time to think about all of that? And that is most of the times what you're going to be doing if you are an artist, especially if you're starting out, because you don't have the resources to pay someone to do a lot of things. I'm learning this thing as I go, I'm just open to learning, and that for me is what matters the most.
Finally, how can people get hold of your artworks? I see some of them they're quite pricey, and I'm like, damn,
but here's the thing though, I always try and cater for everybody. Like for example, when I do a collab with like a Markham, I'm doing that collab for someone who might feel like they don't afford this. You know, the rides are not steeply priced. So I always try and make sure that anyone who's a fan of good work and is a fan of my work can somewhat get it. So I don't really, like, in a few months from now, there's something else that I'm dropping. It's not going to be around this price range. It's going to be a bit low. So I always try and make sure that everyone who's a fan of the work is, you know.
Okay, lastly, man, how can people get hold of you?
My Instagram, Masonwabe Ntloko, MASONWABE Ntloko. And that's really the only social media platform that I actually like really use. Twitter, I'm in and out with it. Yeah, so that's the one platform where I'm like, you know, see here. I also have a website, www.masonwabentloko.co.com. Sorry. Yeah. And yeah, that's how people can get me.
Okay. Yo, man, thank you so much for your time. Amazing work. And yeah, good luck, bro. Good luck, man. Danko. And we out. Yeah.